Welcome to the GetRealWealth.com radio show, where wealth means a lot more than just building a second stream of income with real estate. Listen and learn how 90% of the millionaires in the world use real estate to create a life that most people only dream about. A life that includes good health, family, romance, travel, charity, and all the other parts of a balanced life. Now, here's your host, real estate investor and consultant, Steve Davis.
Good afternoon and welcome to the GetRealWealth.com radio show. Today I want to start off by talking to the discouraged. The reason is that I taught my Saturday class this weekend and got an email from an individual who was discouraged because of some misunderstandings in the workshop. So I want to clarify this for those of you that were there and are listening, or just out there discouraged. You know, you're working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, can't seem to get in the financial position you want to be in, and you feel lost or you feel like there's no hope. And I want to make sure that you understand that there is hope. But the map that we're given of just work a job, climb the corporate ladder, your only source of income is your job, and the way you make more money is to get a raise or to work a second job or something like that, is just wrong. It doesn't work. And you've got to move away from that whole concept mentally. And it's a challenge, because from the time we're old enough to walk, what are we told? That's what you do. But you got to think about the source of that information. And I refer to Stephen Covey's work, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where he talks about an incident at the map printing company. And at the map printing company, the map of, I can't remember what cities he used, the map of Dallas is accidentally marked the map of Houston, and it's given out to everybody in Houston. And they start using that map to get around Houston. It doesn't work. But see, the people believe in the map. It says Houston right at the top. And so what they do is they begin to blame themselves, and they internalize it. And they say things like, well, it must be me, I'm just smart enough. So they go to college and get a master's degree in map reading. Others say they're not working at it hard enough, and they start, instead of working 40 hours a week, they start working 50, 60 hours a week on the map. Still others say it's their attitude. They're not motivated. So they take courses on motivation, and they take courses on their attitude, and they improve their attitude. And they work harder and harder at the map. The problem, Covey warns, is that all those things can possibly do, working longer on the map, getting more education, in other words, getting that master's degree in map reading, and working on your attitude, all those things can possibly do is get you to the wrong place faster, because the problem is not with you, the problem is with the map. So what you have to think about is the people that gave you that map, work hard in high school, go to college, get a job, climb the corporate ladder, save in a 401k, save in an IRA, were any of them where you want to be financially? And if you're honest with yourself, the answer is no. In other words, they were not qualified to give you the map. and they gave you an ineffective map. And you can work hard on that ineffective map. You can go get a degree, a master's degree. You can work 60 hours a week at that map. You can be motivated and have a positive mental attitude. But it doesn't matter. The map is wrong. And it's discouraging. And it makes people sad. People are killing themselves. And I'm not pulling any punches here. People are committing suicide because of that map, the wrong map. I tell this story all the time, and it chokes me up, so if I pause, forgive me, please. But I had a couple that bought a 32-unit apartment complex, and he quit his job to run that 32-unit apartment complex. His wife came to see me, and she goes, she's in tears, and she goes, "Thank you for convincing us to buy that little 32-unit apartment. My husband sings in the shower now. Our lovemaking has increased. His attitude is totally different. He's happy." And then she told me she found a gun and a suicide note. He was going to kill himself because he hated his job so much. He was miserable. Life sucked for him. He had literally purchased a gun, written his goodbye note, and was planning on doing it. Now that he controls his life, now that he's on the right map, he's happy again. And their romance has gone up, their fun has gone up, life is good. And it's a little stinking 32-unit apartment. He couldn't make more than $5 or $6 grand off that thing each month. So it's not like he's suddenly super wealthy. You know, it may have even been less money than he made at his job. But he's happy. I don't want anybody getting discouraged because the wrong map is not working. You just look at it and go, doggone it, I got the wrong map. It doesn't work. I'm going to do something different. And go out and start self-educating. If not with Real Wealth Academy, with somebody. There are multiple great companies right here in Houston that you can go to that have the right map, that have a map that works. When we come back, I'm going to talk about, we'll eventually get to raising your expectations. I think I put that on Facebook. But I want to talk about how I got started with bad credit and no money, because a lot of people are in that situation and they just don't know how to get off the other map and onto the right map. Okay, we'll talk more after the break here on the GetRealWealth.com radio show. Thanks for listening. Real estate accounts for more millionaires in America than any other investment vehicle. This second stream of income can truly change your life. More time for travel and romance, more time for family and fitness, more time for whatever you want to do with your life. To find out how to build this second stream of income, attend our free 2-hour introductory workshop on real estate investing. To reserve a seat, visit GetRealWealth.com and click on the free workshop button at the top of the page. That's GetRealWealth.com. Thank you. Radio show. I'm your host, Steve Davis. We're talking about getting off of the wrong map. What happens is, it's like there's a train story. You get on the train. I want to say this is Zig Ziglar, but I don't remember where I heard it. You get on the train when you're making 20 grand a year, and think of 20 grand a year as the speed of the train. Then you get a raise, you're making 25. You get another raise, you're making 36. And the speed of the train is going faster. And the speed generally represents your debt. As people get raises, they have a tendency, almost everybody, to go buy a more expensive car. Then when they get the next raise, they buy a more expensive house. And the debt gets going more and more and more, speeding that train up until you're making $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year, and your bills are $150 a year. How easy is it to jump off that train? It's very difficult. It's easy to jump off the train when you're making $20,000 a year because it's easy to replace $20,000 a year. It's more difficult to replace $150,000 a year. See, a lot of people think, man, I'm making $200,000 a year, I'm in a better position. Depends on how you're spending now. If it's more debt, you're actually in a worse position making that type of money. Most of the people I know that are high income are higher risk than anybody, because if they get fired, not if, when they get fired, when they get let go, when they get downsized, because it's not if, it's when, they're dead in the water. They can't find another job to pay that much. Or what if they're past 50? Very hard to get hired. You know, I make this comment, the most discriminated against group is 50 plus, because it's almost impossible to prove. So those high income people, they're at much more risk than middle income or low. So for most of you, jumping the train, getting off the wrong map, is very, very difficult. Here's how I did it. It's a thing called wholesaling. I had, if you know my story, I was working 60 hours a week. I placed first place in a national sales contest. They sent me to Hawaii for a week. When I got back from Hawaii, they cut my pay by $20,000 a year. So I ended up behind on my payments, spent all my savings, which was nothing, bad credit, no money. I was like, I am messed up. There's nothing for me to do. Well, fortunately, I bought a set of books by, I think it was Carlton Sheets, on wholesaling. And I started doing it. I started working with real estate agents to help me find deals. I couldn't do the deals, but I had a buyer's list, a group of investors that wanted investment style deals, and I just got it by being a member of multiple real estate investor groups. And yes, I've always been a member of multiple groups. And I found those deals and got them under contract, most of the time with zero earnest money. I'm not going to explain how. You'll have to take my Saturday course for me to explain that to you. It's not something I can do on a radio show. But I got control of the property and then sold it to the investors for a finder's fee. And that was anywhere from $3,000 to as high as $40,000 when I wholesaled a small apartment complex. So I was able to slowly but surely wean myself off of my earned income and get to a place where I no longer needed it. And as I call it, I was able to buy my life back from my company. So there are ways to wean yourself off of corporate dependence. Is it easy? No. I spent an hour to 2 hours a day on the phone looking for those deals while working, 60 hours a week. It was rough, but totally worth it. Is it going to be easy for you to do it? Absolutely not. It's going to be tough. But you've got to think about the reverse. What if you don't do it? What does your future look like if you keep doing what you're doing and nothing more? I know people in their 40s and 50s who have like 50 or 100 grand saved up. Okay, so by the time you're 65, you're going to have twice that much. So you're going to retire on 200 grand? Do the math. We live almost 20 years in retirement. 200 grand divided by 20, that's 10 grand a year you've saved. You're going to live off 10 grand a year. Add your little piddly Social Security to it. It's not happening. So I urge any of you that feel discouraged or you feel like there's no hope, there's hope. People have been writing books on this, courses on this for generations, for hundreds of years. But it's up to you to go get it, because our politicians have somehow figured out a way to take it out of our educational system. It's not taught in high school. It's seldom taught in college. And I haven't seen it taught in college, by the way. I've just heard rumors that you can actually take courses on this in college. I even volunteered to teach this stuff at a major university here in Houston. Never heard back. And I was relatively persistent. No less than 6 emails and so about 12 contacts, 6 emails and 6 left messages. No return phone calls. It's up to you to get this information. And it doesn't have to come from Will Wealth Academy. I hope you'll give us a shot, but do it. Go out there, take responsibility for your financial destiny, recognize that the map we were all given is ineffective, and do something different the next 20 years. You'll be amazed how different your life is 20 years from now compared to doing the same thing that didn't work the last 20 years. And I'm going to review this Thursday evening. I guess I can give a sales pitch for my introductory course. I give away a free introductory course about once a week. It's about an hour and 15 minutes long. It's going to be this Thursday evening at 6:30. It's available live at my office or online. Just go to getrealwealth.com. In the upper right-hand corner, it will say free course. Check that out if you want to learn what we mean about getting off the map that doesn't work and onto a map that does. And if you want to study that concept, that again is Stephen Covey's work, out of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Okay, let's get to expectations now. And I actually think I forgot to post it on Facebook and LinkedIn today. But I want to talk about expectations and raising them. Do you know that you're in the exact financial position, you're in the exact romantic position, you're in the exact fitness position that you expect to be? And no more. No better. And no less. Your expectations dictate your level of success. I'll tell you a story about obesity. When I grew up, everyone, and you're going to think I'm exaggerating until you go to Walmart and look around. Everyone, when I was 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, was obese, except for my parents. Everyone. Slowly but surely, my expectations became that everyone was supposed to be obese by the time they were 40. We'll talk more about expectations when we come back from the break here on the GetRealWealth.com radio show. I'm your host, Steve Davis. You can call me if you got a question about anything to do with real estate investing or anything to do with what we're talking about at 281-558-5738. That's 281-558-KSEV. Thanks for listening. Are you tired of losing money in every down market? Did you know that real estate makes money in both the up and down markets? In fact, we make more money in the down market. Hi, this is Steve Davis, host of the GetRealWealth.com radio show. Yes, we are praying for a down market, and you should know why. To find out why, attend our free 2-hour introductory workshop. To reserve a seat, visit GetRealWealth.com and click on the free workshop button at the top of the page. That's GetRealWealth.com. Thank you. Radio show. I'm your host, Steve Davis. You may call me at any time. Don't worry about the subject matter we're covering. If you've got a question about your real estate or building wealth with real estate or on the subject matter that we're discussing today, give me a call, 281-558-5738, 281-558-5738. So I was just describing when I was 6, 7, 8, 9, may have been a little older, but I remember noting that every person around me was obese. Every one of my teachers. And I don't know how that works. How do you allow someone who has an eating disorder and is obese to be a teacher? It just doesn't make sense. You wouldn't have anorexic teachers. You know, they put them on the cover of magazines as well. You wouldn't put an anorexic person with an eating disorder on the cover of Vogue or Cosmopolitan. But they put someone obese with an eating disorder, same thing, eating disorder, on the cover. Crazy to me. Then, as I got older, probably 15 or 16, and by the way, it inspired me to eat less and exercise a lot. I played every doggone sport I could get my hands on. Didn't overeat and stayed thin, throughout my teen years. And then it started happening. These people started dying. Diabetes, heart disease, even a couple of my relatives of obesity. And I was like, but in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, you're only thin when you're young, you're only thin when you're young, you're only thin when you're young, you're only thin when you're young. And my expectation was that I too was going to be obese by the time I was 40. Then I got away from these private schools and went to public school. And all of a sudden, there were people who were not obese in their 40s. Paradigm shift. What a relief. And my expectations changed. Then I got a mentor, Colonel A.I. Thomas, who was probably late 60s, early 70s, in shape. And I don't mean just thin. I mean in shape, muscular. Thin waist, big broad shoulders, big chest, perfect posture. It was an inspiration to me. It raised my expectations. I've got a friend. She bought a single-story house. And the reason she did was because her expectations are that when she's 70, she won't be able to walk upstairs. Now, how she got that expectation, I can guess. What do you want to bet? Her parents, her grandparents, couldn't walk upstairs when they were 70. Well, I'm telling you that my mentors who were in their 70s and 80s were able to walk upstairs. My expectations are different. People make decisions based on their expectations. If you expect that to be rich you have to be lucky, to be rich you have to be born that way, to be rich some God has to pick you out, if you think that's a joke, I have a friend, a person I love and respect, who actually told me that God didn't pick him to be wealthy. What? Lord, have mercy. So, what you expect, you achieve. And then what you'll find is that you'll start making excuses to bring that to the truth. Like saying, God didn't pick me to be wealthy. What a great excuse. Can't argue with that one. Can't argue with God. Ludicrous. If you will sit down with a goal setting workshop, we have one, other clubs have one, there's hundreds of them online. Go download a goal setting workshop. Write down some new goals. Raise your expectations. And do you know what will happen with very little effort? Your life will improve. There is no doubt, works 100% of the time, but you've got to truly raise those expectations. Write down under wealth. You know, there's career and wealth, two sections of your goal setting workshop. Under career, write down your goals for your career. I want to get a promotion next year. I want to be making X amount of money next year. Then get to wealth. I want enough passive income that it meets and exceeds my wants and needs. Write it down and begin to expect it, because it is required. You really have to have a second stream of income. If you don't, you're in the highest risk position in the United States that you can be. Period. There's no question. Highest risk position is the single source of income, job-related income person. They get laid off, COVID hits, the recession hits, stock market crash hits, hurricanes hit, and they get slaughtered. And then they sit there and continue to do the same thing. Why? Because that's how low their expectations are. Oh, this stuff happens. Raise your expectations. Then what happens once you write down your goals? Once you've got your goals written down, you'll be amazed that it will seem like the planets are aligning for you. But the truth is, in the United States, one of, if not the most effective capitalist society on the planet, the planets are already aligned. You're just facing the wrong way. Everything for you to be successful is right at your fingertips. But because your expectations are so low, you're not even asking for it. You're not even looking for it. You've got to get out there and look for it. And you'll find it. There's an old phrase, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But every time that has happened to me, the teacher was right in front of me the whole time. I just couldn't see him. I couldn't see the forest for the trees. Napoleon Hill puts it this way. Let me see if I can find this. It's start from wherever you are, quotes. Let's see if this comes up. Start from wherever you are with what you have. Wow, there's a ton of them. George Washington Carver even has one. He says, start where you are with what you have. Make something of it and never be satisfied. Let's see if I can find the Napoleon Hill. Here it is. Do not wait. This is the Napoleon Hill. Do not wait. The time will never be just right. Start where you stand and work with whatever tools you may have at your command. And better tools will be found as you go along. And it's just so true. But the start of that is raising your expectations and then moving forward towards worthy goals. Now, be cautious. When you get those goal-setting workshops, don't write down cars, houses. Those are side effects of success. So many people make the mistake of cars, clothes, watches, houses. Those are your goals. No, you get those things by default by having worthy goals. A worthy goal would be, I'm going to provide a safe, functional place for 20 families to live. I want to buy 20 rent homes so I make $6,000 to $8,000 extra every month. That's a worthy goal. Now, with the $6,000 to $8,000, you can go buy the watches, the houses, the cars, or whatever. But please don't write down a bunch of ego-based BS. That's not what you need to do. You need to write down worthy goals. How are you here to help and serve others? Saying that you want to be the best parent that you can possibly be. Saying that you intend to spend an hour a day with each of your children. Or romance your wife 2 hours a day. Or get to the gym 3 times a week. Those are worthy goals. A Hublot watch is not a goal. A Ferrari is not a goal. Those things come as side effects of worthy goals. I hope this is making sense. Now, can you write down Ferrari, Hublot, or Rolex, whatever you prefer? Yes. But they need to be probably on a separate sheet. Where it says the side effects of these goals, of my worthy goals, will be a bigger house, a nicer watch, a Ferrari, whatever it is. Okay, we'll talk more about this when we come back from the break, and I'll take questions from email at asksteve@getrealwealth.com, asksteve@getrealwealth.com, or call me at 281-558-KSEV. You're listening to AM 700, the voice of Texas. Thanks for listening. Do you dream of a better life for you and your family? Do you want more time with your family? Would you like to travel more? Would you like to be less dependent on a job for your income? The solution is simple. Build a second stream of income. We can show you how. We are offering a free 2-hour introductory workshop on how to use real estate to build a second stream of income for you and your family. To reserve a seat, visit GetRealWealth.com and click on the free workshop button at the top of the page. That's GetRealWealth.com. Thank you. Welcome back to the GetRealWealth.com radio show. Phone lines are open. We are in the final segment of today's show, so if you've got a question for me, give me a call at 281-558-5738, 281-558-KSEV, or fire me an email. Use a fake name if you're shy or feel like you got a dumb question. Whether it's the phone lines or email, just put anonymous on the email or use a fake name when you call in. But my email is open right now. It's asksteve@getrealwealth.com. Let's go straight to the phone lines, go out to Katy, Texas, and talk to Joseph. Joseph, thanks a lot for calling in. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. How are you, sir?
Excellent. How can I help?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what you would consider is the best way to even break into this type of industry. My wife and I are working. We have a little bit of savings built up, but we know that there's something missing, and obviously where everything is going, we need to create some sort of passive income. I've been sort of looking into it, but I haven't gotten educated on it.
Okay.
But I do know several people that are doing it, and it seems to be doing well. I just don't know really what the baseline is to even try to break into this.
Well, if you're going to try to start with passive investing, you really need about 70 grand or more.
Okay.
And if you got more than that, then there's all kinds of opportunity to go much, much faster. If you're just looking to build, now that's with strip shopping centers, storage, apartments, things like that. If you're looking to just start with single family, you need about 30 grand or more to get started with that. You don't have to tell me what you've got. Are you above 70, below 70? What are you working with?
We're below 70, but we're going to be probably within the 30 over the next 2 or 3 months.
Excellent. Yeah, and there's things you can do to speed that up. Because, as I said at the beginning of the show, I started with bad credit and no money. And the way I generated money was by wholesaling, then flipping. And then I started buying rentals. A lot of people start with that before they start buying rentals.
Okay. And I do plan on attending that free workshop that you've been talking about on Thursday.
Great.
I'm going to do the online version. You said to just go to your website, and there's a link there.
Upper right-hand corner, getrealwealth.com. Upper right-hand corner will say free course.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time, Steve, and I'm going to be looking more into it, and I enjoy your show, man.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the phone call. Take care.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go to an email. This is an interesting email. This is what's happening to a lot of people. Remember I joked earlier about the planets are already in line, but you're just facing the wrong way, so you don't know it. This is one of those situations where people get to 4 houses, and their bank tells them that's all the loans you can have. So they quit looking. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no limit to the number of mortgages you can have. I've known people with over 100 mortgages. I don't like that strategy, but that's the facts. Not many people know this. Here's one of those planets in line. Did you know that the U.S. government has a product called Fannie Mae mortgages? And you're allowed 10 of those? 1 for your personal residence and 9 rent properties. The system is set up for you to build wealth with real estate, and very few people know about it, and even fewer use it. It's like Tony Robbins says, there's a ton of people that know the right things to do, and very few that do it. So the planets are in line for you. It's just a matter of facing the right way, getting educated, and going after it. This next one is another similar situation. This person has 3 rentals and can't seem to get past 3. They also don't understand how to use hard money, which helps you get the lowest down payment possible. So this one's an education situation. A lot of people get lucky, and they find a house, 2, 3, 4, and then they get stuck. The reason you're stuck is because it was probably a certain amount of luck that got you those first 2, 3, 4, or 5, and your luck's run out. Luck doesn't last. So then you need a little thing called skill. So I highly recommend those of you that are stuck, in other words, you bought 2 rent houses and you haven't bought another one in 2 years, can't find them, whatever the circumstance is, get with a real estate investor group so you can see deals being done every week, every month. It changes the way you think and believe. And the next thing you know, you're going to start finding deals. I teach a technique in my Saturday class for how to locate single-family houses I have never gone a month without finding a deal. I turn down deals every single month, without exception. So there are ways to find deals, and I also teach people how to use hard money loans. Just so you understand why we use hard money loans, most rehabs that we do, in the price range we do them, would be $67,000 to $80,000 out of pocket, meaning you've got to have that $67,000 or $80,000 in your pocket to do the deal. Did you know that with a hard money loan, it's probably about $20,000, not $80,000? See why we use hard money loans? We can buy 4 houses for what it would have cost us to buy 1 if we didn't educate ourselves and learn how to use hard money. So thank you both for those emails. Those are great questions. Again, do not get discouraged. You're just lacking 1 or 2 pieces of information that can help you get over these speed bumps, and that's all they are. They're just little speed bumps. This isn't a wall. And if it is, we'll blow a hole in the wall, breach it, and walk through. Okay, phone lines are open, 281-558-5738, 281-558-KSEV, or you can email me. It's asksteve@getrealwealth.com. asksteve@getrealwealth.com. Okay, here's an email. I'm looking for real estate investors. This one, forgive me if it feels like I'm picking on you. I don't mean to. But can't you answer this yourself? I'm going to suggest you can. If you want to meet real estate investors, what do? Everybody listening to this show better get this right. You join a real estate investor club. If you want to be a golfer, you join a golf club. If you want, it's all about a team. If you want to be a football player, you got to join a team. Real estate investor, got to join a team, a real estate investor club. So that's how you find investors. As I read on, this person is a wholesaler and is finding deals and losing them because they don't have investors. Well, this is because you got it backwards. You don't look for deals first, you find investors first. And this is even in somebody who I love and respect, Than Merrill. Than Merrill tells people to go find deals and that the investors are out there. I don't like that strategy. Does it work some of the time? Sure. But I'll tell you what, if you go find your investors first, have them tell you what they want, and then go find that works 100% of the time. So you can try a strategy that works some or most of the time, or you can try a strategy that works 100% of the time. Now, this is funny. He says he's coming Thursday night, so that's fine. I don't have to give a sales pitch for Thursday night. So I'll see you Thursday night. Don't get discouraged. We've got a ton of investors at Real Wealth Academy that you could sell your deals to, for sure. Okay, phone lines are open, 281-558-KSEV, 281-558-KSEV, or you're welcome to email me literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's asksteve@getrealwealth.com. asksteve@getrealwealth.com. So, in conclusion for today's show, first point, don't get discouraged. I don't care how bad it looks. It's not you, it's your map. If you change the map you're on, you can get the results that you want from your life. Do not get discouraged. And the second thing, raise your expectations. You deserve to be financially independent. You can be financially independent. You may just need a little help doing it because you were never taught how to do it. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and have a great rest of your day.
This has been the GetRealWealth.com radio show. Please remember that this show is for entertainment purposes only and should not be construed as legal, tax, or investing advice. Always get a professional opinion before making any investment decision. To find out about the mentoring and consulting at Real Wealth Academy, visit GetRealWealth.com and attend one of our free introductory workshops on real estate investing. That's GetRealWealth.com. Thanks for listening and have a great rest of your day.